I'm John Yates. I am the creator and owner of Arcadia, America's Playable Arcade Museum, and all the other arcade-related attractions here in McLean, Illinois. My first memory of video games was actually at my church. There was a guy at the church that owned a chain of donut stores, and he also had games in all his donut stores, and he also donated some games to the church. And there was this old Pong game, just one of these tabletop generic things where the ball bounces back and forth. Incredibly boring, but it was just mesmerizing to me. My parents did not mind me playing the games at the church because they were free, and they didn't mind me hanging out at the arcade, but they thought it was a total waste of money, so they never gave me any money to play games when I was a kid. Most of my time at the arcade was spent just socializing with my friends and watching other people play games and just longing to play them myself. I think I had a mild case of oppositional defiant disorder maybe, and the fact that they didn't want me to play them gave me even more of a passion to want to play them. From a very early age, I learned that I was good at fixing things, and I think really what I've learned is anybody can be good at fixing things. What differentiates people is willingness to take things apart and try to fix them. For me, ever since I was a little kid, something's not working, or even if it is working, let's take this thing apart and see how it works. I am an entrepreneur. Since I was a little kid. In third grade, I started my first business selling paper airplanes. It's a long, windy road, but it leads to me getting kind of stuck in this coin-operated industry. I needed a place to store all the vending machines I was acquiring, and I found this abandoned garage behind my apartment building in Champaign. Found the owner, called him, and he said, "Oh yeah, you can rent that garage from me, but you got to clean it out. It's full of junk." So I cut the lock off of it, opened the door, and it was full of arcade games, like 20 old video games. Needless to say, I was very thrilled to have that project. Yeah, and it changed everything, because then I realized, oh man, these are a lot more fun to work on. And if I can find locations to put them in, I make money without having to stock them. With soda machines, you've got to keep buying soda and going out every week and filling it up. With a video game, you just plug it in somewhere, come back a month later, and it's full of money. It just seemed like magic. I worked as a programmer for about 5 years. Then I got a job at a startup out in San Jose, California. Then I did my own startup, and all of these startups failed miserably. I lost lots of other people's money. So I came back from California kind of with my tail between my legs, not sure what I wanted to do. So I decided I would renovate one of my buildings, and I got the building done, and I wasn't sure what to do with it. I was going to put a for rent sign in the window, and I thought, well, I'll just fill it with games and put a for rent sign in the window and see if anybody nibbles. So I did that, filled it up with all my favorite video games, and it didn't really do very well at all, because I didn't do any marketing, no signage, nothing. In fact, I just had a handwritten sign that I taped in the window. But over time, it started to get a little bit of a following. I think putting it on Facebook was really what turned the corner. There was an easy way for people to tell their friends and to invite people, and then it started really getting pretty popular. It grew enough that I decided to start expanding it, and I just kept growing it into other buildings, and it is what it is today. I've still not done any marketing other than put it on Facebook. Kind of my inspiration behind this place was I've got 3 daughters, and I take them on date nights, and there just wasn't anything to do with them. You could go out to eat and you could go shopping, and there was really no other activity. And I just thought, well, that's probably something everyone's experiencing. They want to take their kids out and do something. So I thought, I want to create a family-friendly place where dads or moms can bring their kids and bond with them and connect and say, hey, here's what I did when I was growing up. Let me show you some of my world. And I didn't think growing up in the 80s that this was a time I was going to look back on fondly. But boy, it is. It was such a simpler time, and we weren't all addicted to our phones. And we didn't have like constant stimulation coming from every angle and constant pressure and stress on us. And we could just go and hang out in the arcade for 3 hours and do nothing but just talk and laugh and tell jokes. I guess that's kind of one of the reasons I did this. It's the nostalgia of a simpler time, a time when entertainment was just innocent and family friendly. You can bring your kids in here and not worry about them leaving disturbed or offended or angry or hurt. So I really like giving people a place they can come, and they have no choice but to interact with their kids. Because I know every minute spent interacting in a kind way and in a fun way where they're enjoying each other's company is going to benefit them and benefit their relationship. So anything I can do to create a space where more of that happens, I'm going to do it.